Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Azure Dreams. This time, this is a little bit of a new format. You guys might have seen the first part of that yesterday. It is called Passion Rush and it's going to be very fun. Tonight, I'm going to be on the mic and I'm going to have to take care of making it as interesting as it can be for the specific match we have tonight. Alymra versus SepticTank. We're gonna get another match right after that. No matter how long this match takes, we're gonna get that other one coming up. And we're gonna get a third match. Now the third match is gonna be against the winner of this match versus the winner of the second match. It is the right side of the bracket that we do. And it's gonna be very interesting. What I want to touch about right now that's interesting, that's very exciting to me, is that we have SepticTank, one of the strongest player in the community. Probably, well, he is probably the one that could give some trouble to Wooga. He's extremely fast, he's extremely strong, he's extremely efficient in his play. And on the other side, we have Alymra. Now, Alymra is a newer member of the community. They've been practicing hard. They started from nothing and became very good very quickly. It is very nice to see players get strong by just, taking the information from the older runner, adding their own sauce to it, and becoming extremely powerful in a very short amount of time, much faster than I took to become decent, let's call it that. Both our runners are on the countdown. They should start their run soon. I sure hope we get a great match today, but as you might know, this is still using a lot of the rules from Rock Me to the Top, which is they have maximum an hour to climb as high as they can, but if they die, that means their run is ended. They can still win as long as their opponent die either on their same floor but with a lower time, or well, a higher time, sorry, or they die on a lower floor. So these are certain situations that can happen when you die early but you were super ahead and then you still win even though your opponent stays there for a long time. We're gonna get to see Random Toolkit as well in action here. We're gonna get a random monster and we have Arachne to start with. That's gonna be very exciting. We saw Arachne yesterday. We're gonna see it again today. Very, very strong monster. Although this time it is with its Spell Awaken. Oh no, it was with its Spell Awaken yesterday too. But it always has a Spell Awaken. But it's gonna have its spell maybe in a different element. And that's gonna be exciting. We can have a wind or a fire Arachne. We could still have the water one, that's possible. And we're gonna get 5 random item, actually 4 because the medicinal herb never changes. But the other 4 items you start with are gonna be randomized. So we can get good stuff, we can get terrible stuff. Let's see what we got. Septic's got there first. Gulfwind Sword, Steel Shield, Repel Ball, Scarlet Egg, and Medicinal Herb. Okay, they're gonna probably hatch right now just to see what they have. Even though, if there's a situation where you don't, Arachne might be enough for you. It already has a spell. We have a Fire Arachne, pretty decent. Although the water floors on 6 to 9 are going to be extremely scary. So that's going to be interesting to see how they get out of that. Maybe they find a Sea Seed. And a Griffin! Okay, 2 fire monsters, not really great. But you have a very good mixed magic here. So we're going to see the value they give to each. Arachne, if you can find item to heal its attack power, like a Nazak Herb, Cure-All Herb, or a Water Crystal, can be extremely good. But it might take time, it might take work. And once it's online, it's probably unbeatable. It's extremely strong. Whereas, I think, in my opinion, Griffin is stronger now. And it might be strong enough for the whole run. It might be faster, too, in the sense of you don't have to do shenanigans to have it go. And we see already Alymra choosing to go with Griffin, and I kind of agree. There are other reasons why Griffin is good. The AI1 strat with Mixed Magic is very strong in their case, and Griffin can be picked up. There's also the fact, and that might come into play later, if you have a Griffin as a partner on the field, Pickets cannot steal your stuff. And that is very niche, but when it's online, when you're fighting Pickets, it's huge. You can find Pickets on floor, was it 17, 18, 19, and 25, so where, although they are pretty rare on 25. So already we see a big discrepancy about between 2 players. We have a Arachne player, we have a Griffin player. I don't know, very, very good on both sides. Chai says double attack Griffin. Absolutely, that could be a very good possibility of using them. They do have access to blue collar. As we say, is happening. Yeah. Realizing that there's probably value in just no reason not to have that double attack, right? And let's be honest, Griffin's base attack is nothing to scoff at. Griffin is pretty squishy, but I mean Arachne is as well, so not much of a reason to like they don't lose really anything here. Both can be picked. So I would go as well as a Griffin form in the end, although that could have been manipulated. More on that if that comes into play. We have an upheaval trap on SepticTank now. The field is all wonky. As Arachne could take extra damage because of the lower elevation, but they deal more because they are on a higher elevation. That's going to be very interesting here. Yeah, the rise level are very important. Rise as a spell is very strong, although it is extremely expensive in terms of MP cost, so you don't want to play with that too much. I think it is 16, but Skeef is gonna tell me I'm wrong anyway in a few seconds, but it's very expensive is the point. Like, it's more than 12, I'm sure of that. And the other thing is, although it changes also how much damage you do with Mixed Magic Flame Sword that you see being used right now, the first 10 level is such a huge upgrade in damage, and it gets lower and lower up to a point where past level 12 it's kind of irrelevant to level it, just if we talk about the mixed magic version. But those first 12 levels are huge, and you definitely want to get them. That's what is going to get your mixed magic flame sword online. Speedrunning this game was always astounding me. I'm a casual player and to get higher tiers to their loot, help me speedrun town upgrades. Yeah. Everything in this game is kind of interesting because you do have like a town moment, like you get at the end of a run, win or but I exit the tower. What? Get back into town, and then there's a town building elements. There's some light dating elements. Nothing of that is extremely profound, mind you. Like, it's very basic in both its form, but it kind of makes you want to go into another run so you can evolve the story in the village. Like, it's such a good lightning in a bottle kind of game where every element, like the tower is extremely deep if you ask me. There's a lot of little details. The town a little bit less so, but it adds to that whole experience because you want to go back to the town and then you want to go back into the tower, and like motivates you into doing more runs. Septing is trolling hard. Maybe I missed something. Very potentially, I'm telling stories about the town, so I might not have seen everything. They start with a wind seed here. It's going to be great. You want to see those elemental seeds that lets you change your or an enemy's element into something different. Their water floors are coming up really soon, and that fire Arachne or fire Griffin is going to be at a disadvantage. Not for too long, but for a minute. And maybe changing it into something else might be interesting. Although, it's important to note, then after that you get into Griffin floors, and being wind is very scary, so maybe you want a way to change back before you go and do that, right? Another point that we didn't see yesterday's Arachne was from the second egg, so it doesn't change anything, but today the Arachne is from the main egg, or actually not even an egg, it's from the monster replacing Cuny on the bridge. And where it's going to be very interesting is if we find Arachnes later, which we will, they are going to be fire elemental, so even though they're going to look the same, the player needs to remember that because their Arachne is fire, every Arachne is going to be fire, and they need to not mess up their elemental triangle understanding, right? 4 troll next to him, trains of trolls, yeah. Alymra walking his dog, yeah. Right now, the Griffin is really not strong enough to fight as we're seeing it do right now. The reason why he probably does AI 1 is because of how low level everything like he is. Level 5 is fine, but level 3 on the Griffin is kind of scary, so you probably want a level or 2 more before you... Sharing the pain here is kind of very scary. You probably... Yeah, medicinal is high value, but I guess that was the play for sure. Now they're not sharing the pain anymore. Ko has a steel shield, you can take those hits. Ko has also a lot of HP, so generally that's not much of a problem early. We're gonna get to see Septic reach floor 5 too. We have a Repel Ball, very bad ball. We see Alymra choosing not to explore, not to leave floor 5 and explore to get more items. Generally, that's a cutoff. That's a floor where it's still easy-ish to fight around. Starting floor 6, I would be surprised that if they find an elevator that they don't take it right away. Here, that's a bird, not a dog. It is, well, a griffin is supposed to be what, a lion and an eagle? So, I mean, it's more like a cat, or, well, and a bird, obviously. And then it becomes like a third cat, a third human chest, and a third still a lion with a bow. I mean, I guess that's a reference to Sagittarius, right? Septic had 2 as hacker, already used 1, gives 1 a nice advantage on Earth 4. Yes. So you can see that the spider on Septic side now has 23 out of 24 attacks. That's because that's being healed. 23 is huge. Griffin has 11. Ko has 8 or 9, depending on which screens you're looking at. So yeah. No question here. Zach makes a gigantic difference. We're gonna get. There is one on Alymra as well. I guess they have decided to just wait on using it, which also is not necessarily a bad idea. As long as you're still like capable of taking those hits or winning those fights, you might elect to wait for a little bit longer. But that little bit longer, I feel, is not gonna be like it's gonna happen soon-ish because, yeah, absolutely. 11 to 22 is crazy good for early floor. 11, that's not that great. It's fine. It would be fine if it wasn't a fire monster, but right now 11 and being fire is... Oh, we have this one. Okay, so it doesn't matter now. Now that we see Scarlet on Alymra's side, it's clear that Alymra plays was better. Having a Scarlet one with Flame Sword is gigantic. Those 14 damage we see is huge. And obviously, during that time, Griffin is still building up. Now I feel like you wait on using that Azak for later. You don't need firepower, you already have it. That's going to be a huge pick for Alymra, and that's going to... You see now how fast he just goes, right? You understand he's got firepower. I mean, he can still die, don't get me wrong. He's still fire on the water floors, but yeah, that's just huge. You can even take that fight. Blooms are annoying, yeah, just don't share the pain so your Griffin doesn't hit you. Okay, they probably elected to use an item here. Okay, tuna fruit, very good. That would have been nice to see what we saw yesterday with Hextree using the de-leveling thingy, so keeping maybe a tune on your back pocket just in case you get that weak ball. We might even have seen a weak ball, but yeah, here we have a Wind Monster Alymra's side, 28 damage, 1 shot. Let's go. Scarlet one mixed with a Flame Magic Sword. Well, specifically Flame Sword is so huge that, yeah, this is no jokes. We see Septic takes the lead here on 7th floor, so he didn't have... Well, that's not a huge lead, as Alymra is just behind. But yeah, that's very interesting that we see the Septic caught up. And yeah, that spider now wrecks everything. One of the other difference we're going to see here is that not only does Griffin has a little bit more MP, 10 maximum more, but also Flame Sword actually costs 0.75 of an MP and attacking cost 1. So that's going to make a difference in the long run, right? Griffin already have less, so maybe I'm not necessarily right here. But in general, that should make some kind of a difference. That probably just mean that Alymra fought more. And we see a fight against a U-boat. That's scary, but again, Elevation, Flame Sword, 2 hits is going to take care of that U-boat. So that's not too bad. But letting them hit you twice because they hit you first when they get out, and a second time because you don't one-shot them, is a scary idea. U-boats always destroy me, absolutely, and they do. No matter what kind of player you are, no matter what level of play you do, U-boats are a big no-no. There's only probably one bigger no-no, and that's Kraken. And obviously maybe Dragon later on, but I mean, I guess by the end, everything is a big no-no. We have an egg on SepticTank side. He is juggling with the idea of getting in that room, get the only Wind Monster out, skipping some turns to see if they wake up. They don't, then they... Yeah, he's juggling with the idea. What is he gonna do? And we have Alymra on the same room on the same moment, but Alymra goes for the kill. quick decision making here might be good. Throwing his own monster to hit, very nice play here. I like that both of them are taking. As long as the monster wake up on Septic, he's golden. But we have a monster awake on the Alymra side. So they pick up a Wind Crystal. They obviously don't want to do that. Now that they have something in their hand, they're going to have to lose a turn somewhen to get rid of that and being able to do something else. Pick the monster. Yeah, no Maneuver juking here, but the 4 damage isn't that bad, right? Steel Shield early against a Maneuver is not scary. Now, at some point, they're gonna have to realize that they're gonna have to kill that train and move into like another position because yeah, they just keep getting pincered and having to do something with it. At some point, you want to kill what's behind you just to make room so that there's no more possibilities of a pincer attack, right? Blind Bloom doesn't brainwash their mirror mix. Blind Bloom doesn't brainwash their mirror mix. Do you mean that they cannot if you mirror? Like if they are blinded? Right. Yeah. That could be an option for sure. And they do have that option. If they change it to wind, the mirror can be the 100% paralysis thingy. There was a brainwash here. It missed. Luckily, Griffin would have been very scary to be close to. I don't think any enemy can use their ability when they are blind. I think they either try to move, and if they cannot, the physical attack. I think there are 2 only options. So that's something they can do. I say when they can't move, they attack. Well, if it's an actor in front of them. If not, they will turn left. I've been killed by my own brainwash monster too many times. Yes, everyone has. And especially when you do speedrunning, you always, like normal speedrunning, you'll play with CUNY almost all the time. And that, you are immune, right? CUNY is immune to being brainwashed. So you get used to that so much. As soon as you play Random Toolkit, you're not afraid of blooms, and maybe you should. Because that's scary. And we have one more frog on the Alymra side, although this time it is themselves that are being turned into a frog. But a kiss from a princess or something like that should take care of that. And they are being leveled down. Not too bad. And the level didn't decrease, so that's great. And that's probably very close to a one-shot. Okay, no, but close, yeah. Yeah. Alright. Septic during that time climbed pretty decently. They're still neck and neck, to be honest. Alymra reaches 10 first. Septic is a little bit higher level. Well, actually, or AZ. No, they're both the same level. 6 on both sides, which is pretty low, to be honest. Not unexpectedly low, but it is low. Like, if I am level 6 when I arrive at floor 10, my mission is to get some experience. Those Dreamins should be easy to kill and give you good experience. Well, a Mazar seed can do it too. Oh, they don't even pick Mazar. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so that means like, if that animation for a level up is too much, I don't see a world where picking Mazar was not the play here. But I mean, it's their play. They do how they want to, but that's interesting. So Septic dancing with you both, or more importantly, oh yeah, absolutely dancing with them. I love that. They are probably, yeah, they want to see that that elevator as quickly as possible because this is getting scary. Alymra during that time, pick up floor 11, pick up floor 12, and we are going to be in Griffin territory, and that's going to start to be scary. Although we saw the elevator on the spin, north and then west, if that vision is the right one. Oh yeah, okay, Septic is in a dangerous position, but they're good at the end of the day. U-boats are not necessarily tanky. It's the fact they get a free hit and they have a high attack. That's the problem. Once you can start hitting them, generally you hope 2 hits should be enough, right? But yeah, he's doing pretty well, but Alymra is taking a lot of ground here. We have a 3-floor difference, and it seems this floor just doesn't want to yield the elevator for Septic, so that's kind of scary. But he finds good stuff. That oldie scroll that Alymra didn't find might make a huge difference later on. So at least if you're stuck somewhere, use it to build up a good inventory. And I like Septic's inventory here. When you have too many oldie scrolls, that's kind of nice, right? And we're gonna get to see the elevator on Alymra's side for floor 13. A medicinal herb, also very good. Playing very carefully. Yeah, absolutely. I think we talked yesterday about almost every runner doesn't changing their playstyle too much even though that was a different format, like going from best of 3 to best of 1, which I think is kind of a big difference for sure. It doesn't mean you should change your playstyle. Maybe comfort is better than adapting or whatever. But I think from what I've seen, or maybe it's just that the game doesn't want to yield, but Septic seems much slower than he generally play. I think his playstyle is generally extremely aggressive. So I guess some adaptation is not a bad idea here. Okay, oh, lucky dodge on the Griffin here. That could have been dangerous on the Alymra's side. That Griffin cannot take many hits, although it's nice because they hit so hard that, yeah, they need to not miss. But wands are extremely accurate. Very low chance that this is a problem. And if... do you CC your own Griffin here? There might be time. Okay, medicinal. And then they take the hit. 17 is fine. It has a lot of HP. Steel Shield still relevant. Not for too long, but they are. Septic's found a third. Oh my god, what's this? Okay, sure. That works. He's found a third Holy Scroll and he didn't want to make room for it, so he ended up just throwing it at the first thing he saw, which was a volcano. You rarely see a volcano being OL'd, but I mean, at that point, if you feel you have too many Holy Scrolls, which is not something I thought I would hear often, but you catch a drift, right? Using the pick up and throw your own pet to get free attack and distance is kind of interesting too. We haven't seen that since the days of Captain Luigi, I think, was known for doing that during tournament matches. Yeah, absolutely, that's kind of crazy. But once your Arachne finishes being thrown and hits the opponent for 1 damage, they attack right away. I'm not gonna say that's good, but yeah. Volcanoes are holy, so where does lava, I guess, comes from? I mean, they at least have 1 hole, yeah, I guess. I'm not sure I want to go there. Kraken on Alymra's side, yes, and he's got a Griffin in his hands too. Griffins and Krakens are a combo you never want to have to be stuck between. They're gonna throw that to go to the... Oh no, okay, they want to go to that room specifically. We have Krakens on Septic sides too. It was spotted, but then the distance is gonna reset that. Septic's catching up pretty darn well. We have only 1 floor difference now. That's very nice. Maybe they're like platypus sweeting eggs through their belly. We don't know. We have a Kraken in the room. I guess just going away is the play. That Kraken is not following anymore. Very good. It's going away. Do you even follow it? Maybe you scout that fruit. Yes, Lahav is bad. Septic is in the same room that Alymra was in earlier. Unlucky dodge. And that's very rare you see, well, that's not very rare, but that's interesting to see a monster in an Oli. Yeah, and he does the dance here. Rotating around. Now, a monster cannot enter an Oli Scroll invincibility beam, but if they are in it, then they don't move away from it. They can stay in it and be invincible, which is great here. And Alymra lost his Griffin here from 2 Sword Stroll, and that might spell out a very tough time, or the end of the run here. Yeah, we talked about the Troll Train earlier, but that one is damn nasty. That's going to be very scary. We have 1 removed with a Holim, the other one is picked up. Very nice. And you want to throw that thing away as soon as possible. You don't want to walk with a pet in your hands in a room. If you walk on a trap, you can... Well, they can drop from your hands and attack you, which is very, very scary. Whew, a lot of emotion. They are not out of the woods, though. We're going to see a balloon egg. Nothing really, really great. But, yeah, there was a restore scroll, but no runner found it. Okay, try using the future sight, their tools, but that's actually, okay, weak ball. They have weakened tuna, actually. Oh, they decide not to pick it up. I understand. It's probably too late to do that kind of stuff, but... I don't know. I saw it yesterday, and now I want to see it every match as if it was a trap. The poison trap, or as it is known, the real slow trap on Septic side. Antidote, very good idea. Don't want to stay low HP here. Alymra deciding to take a few hits from those new yells, and they will not get to choose which exit they take from this room. Oh, Holy Bell. Okay. They probably want to get a chance to reposition here and take a breather, and I think that's kind of a good idea here because Well, there was a lot of monster breathing down their neck. Septic in a pincer situation here, that's gonna be scary. Decides to reverse and fight that Maneva. Maybe a pickup here is the play. Not this time. 19, they can take another one, right? Do they go Tuna? Okay, not a bad idea. Maybe use the elevation to kill that Maneva. That could be an option. And then we're going for the pickups here. That's kind of crazy because... Oh, that troll is not going to go away, though they're going to have to re-pick it. Oh, yeah, there's... Okay, very nice. Okay. What do we get? Yeah, that's a much better troll on the Alymra side. This time, it gets every monster out. They find things that they don't want, but... That's things they do have. Septic took a very... Oh my god! Monster Den! Let's go! It's been a while during a tournament match. We haven't seen one of those. I'll let the music play out and let Septic take care of it. The trolls, though, are with hammer. They can still be eye-level hammer troll, which is weird. That's only during Monster Den that this can happen. So these trolls might still be level like 15-ish, even though they have hammers. So that can be extremely bad. I'll let the music play because it's a great music, but yeah, let's go. Septic, show me how you do it. Yes, Gattergal, absolutely. My brain is going into overdrive, and I'm not even the one having to do all this. But I guess Holy Scroll is going to be a big part of that strategy, for sure. Is he going to know that that Hammer Troll might be high level and be surprised by the damage? Yeah, 8 damage here. That's a high level troll. Alymra is on floor 17, which is also where the where the Monster Den is. It would be huge in that situation. Holy Bell would just make you immune to everything, or they would have to exit the room. It's a hype. It's a crazy room. Every move you make every monster closer to you. At some point, there are so many of them that you cannot even take hits. Using the Holy Scroll is probably... That was going to be a part of it, for sure. Don't forget that there is no Holy Scrolls on Alymra's side, so... What do you do? Pick up and run? Pick up and run could be huge. There are so many of them! And when they wake up, they start coming for you. Push strat? Push strat is too scary. Pick up strat. You pick up the troll, maybe? No, that's still too scary. Pick up the picket and move diagonal? Okay, fireball. Yeah. Unclog that section. I think that's a good play. Tile immunity glitch. Yeah, that could have been an option. Oh, you had a miss on the Ectro! How often do you see that in a Monster Den of all places? Okay, eat medicinal herb for sure. Oh my... The seed! Okay, they will go for a Garuda! On Alymra's side, that's crazy! Okay. And oh my god, even if they get into the Monster Den now, they can actually go away. And that's water! Oh, that is so good. Okay, that's the room with the Monster Den. Okay, they didn't step on it. Marvelous. A definitive advantage for Alymra right now. If I was Septic, I get out at that time, downright, and I start moving towards the elevator. Take a hit or two, it doesn't matter. You can take a few hits. And you cannot kill everything. And at some point, they're just gonna get, yeah. I feel like that's the play. And then right. Or left now. Scorch Shield -1, you don't care. 18. Oh, that was pretty hurt. But during that time, floor 18, but Alymra, now I guess you throw. Yeah. Gonna take a 19 damage hit. That's scary. And is he gonna abduct? He is. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna say that now it's calmer because it's not. But yeah, the music went down. The energies are down a little bit. We have Garuda in our hands, and yeah, Big Peter Fruit. That's a big loss here. Garuda is not the most MP hungry monster, but oh wow. Yeah, Booga, you missed a monster then, a Garuda Hag, you missed a bunch of things. I start with a fire Arachne that went into a Griffin. Yeah, this is a seed. This is a seed. This is a crazy first match. We're already at 28 minutes, closing into the 30 minutes, so the first of the maximum time for that match. They are reaching floor 20. They should be at 20 around about that time, depending on how the game wants to play with them. So, I guess this is not the fastest seed, but this is definitely one of the craziest seed. So many things to say. Garuda, for those of you who don't know, is a monster that can abduct your... When you find them as enemy, they will abduct your pet, leaving you alone, and teleporting with your pet away for a one-on-one battle, or maybe not even one-on-one battle. That's the scary part, right? But when you have it as a pet, you can abduct yourself, and then you both teleports away, which is crazy good, because as you see, that means that you can just teleport away. Crit damage, changing that Garuda's element was probably a good idea, but that one time it could have resulted in big problems. But Garuda is still alive, and that's what we want to see. Hidden Maneuver into Coin, that's also a scary thing, and we have the elevator and a go-up trap on Septic side. He's going to take the go-up trap because it's faster, and we have floor 20, now 21 on Alymra's side, and we have 19 on Septic side. Now, don't forget, these Arachnes are fire, not water, and that's important. Now, for now, it's a good thing that our fire Arachne hurts them for more. He goes with the pickup strat, kind of like it, okay. Almost got a full line. Maybe they disappear if there's like a line of them for a full room, right? It was SepticTank. He never learned, does he? Elevator trains favoring Alymra. Yeah, absolutely. And even when it's not a real train, he can use the. He doesn't use the train. He used the plane. It's an elevator plane. He can just fly to it. So that's kind of much better. And as soon as we're gonna get out of those pesky maneuver floor where they can be coined, that's gonna be much easier to maneuver with a Garuda. Obviously, there's gonna be stealth later, and Maneuver's gonna come back too. But yeah, Maneuver Tetris like a modern Puyo Puyo. I'd pay for that. Yeah, for sure. That could be scary. Maneuver can be the type of block you want. You want the line? Maneuver's a line. Okay, that's the room, and we know that's a problem. We know that there's probably a friendly Maneuver in there on Septic side. What is he gonna choose to do? Fireball? No, White Sand, okay. Now Fireball? Okay, Wind, Seed, and then Fireball. That makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, he doesn't even need to use this. Oh yeah, he needs to because it's at the side of the thing. Okay, very well played. I still like it a lot. That Wind Seed is not going to be used to transform that Arachne later on, which might be dangerous. But for now, very well played. Floor 20, we're going to get the elevator, so floor 21. 24 on Alymra's side. Yesterday I talked about those floor layouts, or the color, the design, if you want to say, that are in the code but are not in the game. This is one of them, the blue one, and it's like the Regal one, I guess. It's kind of interesting because those carpets are like gold and blue, which I kind of really like. You don't get to see that in the game unless you play the second tower, which is also cut content anyway. But if you get access to those, I thought that having them for the tournament would be very interesting. So I really appreciate that blue one. It's very nice. Probably my second favorite for sure. Only problem for Alymra is that he's very low level and doesn't have any fireballs. The Septic chance is in the fact that later on Alymra can probably get one shot. Absolutely, he needs to be careful for sure. And he's not playing very careful, which I understand. He's playing extremely aggressively, which you might need to do if you want to beat someone like Septic. And it's working. I mean, they have the floor advantage, and they have a Garuda, right? So that's going to do that for you. Took a little bit of a risk staying in a room a long time with that block, but that block never woke up, so that's good. During that time, Septic is not slow for any matter. He might be playing safer than he usually does, but he's running. That 48 attack Arachne is going to do some serious damage, but maybe not against a Viper. That's a scary situation to start in, and that the Septic inventory is starting to get very thin. You said that, yeah, he does have a Blaze Ball. Yeah, I was about to say, did you have a Blaze Ball? And Alymra's inventory is becoming better. It was definitely worse for the longest of time compared to Septic, but since then, Septic struck a monster den, and then their inventory went south, whereas during that time, Alymra found the Garuda, fights a little bit less, and now their inventory is pretty good. But maybe those streaks of Zeus might make their inventory a little bit worse. Septic has bet Wuga Garuda once, maybe he can beat Alymra's. Sure. I don't want him to talk bad or talk smack, but I mean, beating Wuga's Garudas is different, I feel. That man is just speed incarnate. Okay, we have the room. Oh, maybe a paralysis? That could be terrible. Also, that Garuda is not the right element. It's gonna take a punch. It takes, okay, only one. That's really good. Leave that. Yeah. Throw it away. And Blaze Ball. Oh my. Living with 3 health. But luckily they get the elevator for it, but that's scary. Recovery Ball is going to do some great work here, especially if there's a trap in the room. But now with Water Garuda, even if there is a trap, it should be fine. But oh my, yeah, Nailbiter from the very beginning to the end. This seed is crazy. And the people that are playing it are too, because getting through those circumstances is serious work. We saw Griffin on Alymra's side die. We saw a Garuda being replaced. We saw a monster dead on Septic's side. Their spider is also dead. That's a lot of things. Do speedrunners ever to the turn skip on elevator to heal? Absolutely, especially considering if there is no monster on screen, those turns are gonna fly by extremely fast, and the game will slow down once an enemy enters your area, or you can just stop, obviously. So it doesn't take a lot of time, so we obviously will see that. Now, the way we play, there's going to be very often situations where we will have monsters on our tails, so I'd say like 90% of the time that's not an option, but when it is, every good runner does take the time to get a little bit of a heal, because the worst situations are always pincer attacks if you stay too long on the floor or something like that, and when you enter a room, because you can be in a corner stuck close to a monster, right? Which is never going to happen if you play normally, but unless you go and fetch an item in a corner. But if not, then entering a new floor is one of the scariest things, because you don't know what's going to happen. So getting there full is a very good idea. Very good question. We're gonna get to see Alymra fly like crazy. We have floor 27 on their side, 24, well, 25 and 28, obviously made me lie. But yeah, 28 and 25, it's only a 3-floor difference, but being 3 floors ahead of Septic, and Septic Commando on top, is not something everyone can say they have done in their life. That's very interesting. Deciding on Alymra's side to not fight the Napless and run around to check other stuff, pretty good. And they told me they hate snowmans. Well, here's one, and that snowman is not going to care about their fireball, but Holy Scroll is going to do it. Blinder Ball, you know that if you go one, okay, Roam in their inventory, very good. Not blind anymore. Azure Dreams being a very mean game, gets you, doesn't blind your character, it blinds you. And on Septic sides, we are on a stealth floor, so that's going to be scary as all hell. Stealth can turn invisible. They can even spawn invisible, and sometimes you walk around and then you get hit, and you don't know why. I mean, you know why, but it's too late, is my point. They are not the strongest monster at all. They don't hit that strong, that hard, and they are not that tanky. They do have a decent amount of HP, but being wind is generally a bad thing because of balls. And they can be picked up, as you can see on Septic's side. Didn't even think, just picked it up. Reflex, let's go. So decent, like, not the scariest monster, but the fact that they can, like, blindside you, literally, is the problem here. An egg on Alymra's side, sorry. Yeah, could be... At that point, there's not... Well, actually, at that point, you don't want anything other than your Garuda. And at that point, it cannot be a second Garuda. So, you cannot even get, like, a second one in case, right? How these floors look, they are so great. I love, like, every kind of weird floors. Oh, on Septic sides, we get the frog in between two zoos. Now, frog is one of the worst status effects because you can use items, which means that they're gonna have to... Oh, he's paralyzed! That is the end, that's it! There's no way he survived this. He did, and he's not paralyzed anymore, but what's the point? Because he needs to dodge here, and that's match! Alymra takes match 1! That's madness. GG Alymra. Well played, Septic. All of the things that happened to him. The monster den, the death of their spider. What a match. And you guys were here for it. Thank you so very much for sharing that. That's the seed. I'll need a break. How much time do we have until the next one? Let me congratulate Alymra to let them know they won this. That's one of the craziest seed I have seen. I'll mute myself for just a minute and I will classic SK seed. And I will be back once I have readied and placed and set up the next race. But don't go anywhere. We have another race coming up right away.